Navarro is Assistant to the President and Director of the White House Office of Trade and Manufacturing. He's been a terrific friend of the Lexington Institute the last 3 years, and we hope we occasionally repay the favor. He has his PhD from Harvard and was a professor at the University of California, Irvine. He's a longtime trade and economics advisor to President Donald Trump. On the postal front, Dr. Navarro has led successful U.S. efforts to change international postal rates so that the U.S. Postal Service no longer has to lose money serving overseas shippers. And Dr. Navarro has led the administration's efforts to implement an action plan to identify and increase seizures of counterfeit products, the vast majority of which originate overseas. Thank you, sir, so much for coming. It's good to see you.
Pleasure. All right, now, watch this carefully. Hey, thanks so much for having me here today. I want to talk about two things postal related, one in the past, one in the future that this administration is doing. The first issue has to do with the fact that President Donald J. Trump is going to save USPS about $500 million a year because he had the courage to do what people had been trying to do for about 20 or 30 years, going back to the Ronald Reagan days, which is to change this crazy system that was called terminal dues at the Universal Postal Union. The UPU is 192 countries, about 190 don't like us too much, and they were charging us significant amounts of money for the privilege of sending packages to us. Well, in other words, we were subsidizing their postage. That was hurting our post office, that was hurting our businesses that had to compete, and it was also hurting our consumers because a lot of the packages were coming from China. And that's the second issue I'm going to talk about, because we've been doing a blitz operation with Customs and Border Protection once a month now. And we're finding that about 10% of the packages that are coming in by air from China have some type of contraband in them. A lot of it's counterfeit. So that contraband defrauds American consumers, but it also can harm or even kill them through things like fentanyl coming in as a controlled substances, child car seats which are counterfeit, which will not protect the child on impact. So on the UPU issue, this was really interesting because I think it was one of the great victories in diplomacy in this administration. It's one of the unsung victories because it happened far away in Geneva at a time when the news cycle was focused on something else. But it was a situation where when the president found out that we were subsidizing a flood of Chinese packages and other packages, he called me in the Oval and said, fix this. And so we had a year to do that because in order to get out of the UPU, that's how long it takes. So our strategy was, look, here's our exit visa here, okay? You got 12 months to give us what we need or we're out. And over that period of time, we did two things. First, we worked really closely with the UPU leadership and also friendly countries on this issue. And second of all, myself and others repeatedly established the principle that we were getting the hell out if they didn't give us what they want. So there was by the time we got to Geneva, and this was at an extraordinary Congress, only 3 of which had been held in its history. By the time we got there was a strong belief in that audience that if we didn't get what we were asking for, and it was fair, that we were leaving. And what we did going into that, in Vegas, the odds were about 100 to 1 that we'd be successful. Everybody was kind of betting that if we were going to get out, it'd be chaos and all that kind of stuff. By the time we left, we had a unanimous floor vote and a big round of applause from the United States of America. Even China voted for our proposal. So the lesson from this I think, for the world, really, is that when this administration takes a principled position in a multilateral organization, that folks better do the right thing. Just because of who this nation is, we are the most important in these organizations, and we got our way because people within that body believed President Trump would do exactly what he would say. So it's going to the change is going to come in June, the transition, and come June. We're going to stop subsidizing the flow of packages, and we did it in what I like to call Trump time, which is to say as quickly as possible. Now, moving forward, the other issue I'm working on that really pertains to the Postal Service is this issue of counterfeiting and contraband. Here's the issue. I went to JFK 2 weeks ago on a Friday, and the White House had initiated this operation called Megaflex with Customs and Border Protection, which is a wonderful partner in this, for the purpose of policing the Phase 1 China trade deal, which has sanctions against intellectual property. And what we're trying to do is benchmark just how bad that is, with counterfeiting being the purest expression of IP theft. And so, back in July, we began running these operations once a month. And as I said earlier, this is frightening. We went in there, and there was a room about this size, with a set of tables around it that had the counterfeit goods, the controlled substances, the pharmaceuticals that were fake, the exotic animal butterfly table, and what I saw was, for example, counterfeit medicines that cancer patients were ordering for $8,000 in the mail that had nothing in them, no active ingredient. I saw a number of electronic products which basically can burn down your house. I saw a table full of pork products from China that raised the risk of the African swine flu coming in and polluting the supply chain for pork in this country. And you should know that every pig that got the swine flu in China had to be killed. Every single one of them. Okay, so the mortality rate for African swine flu for pigs is 100%. So what we're going to do is continue to benchmark this problem, working with the United States Postal Service, which has been also a great partner in this. They were there working. What we did with an executive order is actually recruit them as part of the team with CBP. And this is something that we as a country have to tackle, because every time you go online and you go on Amazon or you go on eBay, and those are four-letter words to the people I spoke with up at Kennedy, right? You run the risk of being taken to a third-party online marketplace in some place out there in the world where they want to take your money and harm you. So this will be the next battle. Maybe I'll come back in a year or something. I do love the Lexington Institute. They do a great job for the American people. They're a solid voice out there. I appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right.